Today, we have covered quite a few concepts. When you look into Deluge, we have four different, uh, Deluge is mainly categorized into four different parts. Like it's the automation, which Anish showed you this morning. Then this integrations is something which you integrate your application with different third-party services. That is, you make your application talk to some other service and get information from there. So that's covered in the developer track because it's quite advanced feature. And when you get into customization, it's creating dashboards. You know, in Creator, we can create pages. Pages are nothing but HTML pages where you can use HTML to design your pages and use Deluge tasks. All along, we have seen what are the Deluge tasks that we have. You can use the Deluge task to fetch the information and create pages with these dashboards. Now, what we'll be covering now will be the scheduling. So, what are schedules? Schedules are set of time-based actions that we can perform without any user input. So, it's all automated. You run a schedule and the task is carried out automatically. In Creator, we have three types of schedules. The first one is the form schedule, report, and the custom. So there are three types of schedules. So let's take, for example, I'm a doctor and I have a patient management system or a clinic management system where the patients are going to book an appointment for their appointment. So what I can do is I can send a reminder. I can run a schedule to send a reminder automatically to all my patients just 2 hours before their appointment time. So that's one thing that we can do using a form schedule. So in each and every form that you will have a date and time field. So wherever you have this date and time field, this will be taken as an input to run the schedule. So it will take, let's say I have the appointment at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So that value will be taken into the schedule and it will send a reminder at 6 a.m. Similarly, let's take, for example, a project management application where you need to check for all the tasks, all the pending tasks for your employees and send them a reminder before the project due date. So what you can do is you can actually create some workflows. That's what we have seen so far. You can create some workflows, see all the tasks that are pending for you can fetch all the tasks that are pending for your employees. Then what you can do is you can run the schedule to send them the reminder. Next one, it's the report schedule. As the name implies, in the report schedule, we are going to send something as an attachment, a report as an attachment to someone. So let's say you want to send the sales report of the pizza order every month, on the first of every month to your sales manager. What you can do is you can run a schedule to send the reports. You can send the report as an attachment on the first of every month. The schedule can be either run once or it can be daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly. So the third one will be the custom schedule. Let's take, for example, I run an import-export business and I need to fetch all the Forex values. I need to be updated with the Forex values that's actually in the market. So what I can do is I can integrate, that is I can run a schedule to pull information from some of the Forex websites every morning. Let's say I want to get updated with all the Forex currency values. So I integrate with that service and I run a schedule to get the information. Similarly, this is one interesting example. I believe most of you would have registered for the event using the Eventbrite. So as soon as you register, on the next day, you would have got a pre-event survey. Eventbrite does not have the option to send that survey. What we did is, we integrated with Eventbrite and we used APIs to bring all the data. So every morning we'll run a schedule to bring in all the attendee information into Creator, and from Creator we'll be sending an email. So that pre-event survey will be going from Creator. So you can do such kind of integrations, and you can bring in data, some web API tasks that you want to do, you can do it using the custom schedules. Now, let's see, in today's context, we'll see, we're going to monitor the inventory levels. That is, we have the pizza inventory form, so we're going to closely monitor the inventory levels and notify the store manager if the stock goes below the threshold value. So we can't, inventory manager can't log in all the time. He can't keep checking whether the inventory goes low or not. So what we can do is we can set up a schedule and remind him or notify him. So now let's get to the builder. Okay. Now let's get into the development mode. I want all of you to do it along with me. It's quite a big step. So let's make sure all of us are on this page. I get into workflow. So far in the morning sessions, we have been seeing this forms. Under forms, you have all these form actions, field actions, etc. Now, we saw functions. That is the custom function. And now we'll be getting into the schedules. So as I said, we have 3 different types of schedule. We have also given the use cases, like where all each schedule can be applied. Now, let's create a custom schedule. I click on create. So every schedule will have 2 parts. When to do, that is when do I have to do that task, and the second thing will be what to do. What to do is that task. So first, let's configure when to do. Let's say I want to keep the title as threshold. You can choose to have a title of your convenience. Now, the start date will be today's date. Let's say I want to run the schedule from today. And I can choose to set a time. So we can see the time zone specified here. Based on the time zone that is specified here, the schedule is going to be executed. So what you can do is, if you want to run it on a different time zone, you can change the time zone from here. And we can choose to set the frequency. It can be either once, daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly. So I want to do a daily schedule. So I choose to set the frequency as daily. Now, let's all complete this section, when to do. It's basically we are scheduling a schedule. So, shall we move to the next tab? Yes? Yeah. So, this is the interface which we have been seeing all along, the Deluge editor. So, you can see all the Deluge tasks here. The same script builder screen is going to be shown here. What we can do is, I'm going to set a task. The task is, I'm going to see for each and every record that I have in inventory form, that is for each and every pizza that I have in inventory form, if the available quantity goes less than 5, then immediately I'm going to notify the store manager. So what I can do is, So since we are going to run it across each and every record, what I do, I drag and drop a for each record task. Go to data access. You can see the for each record task. Just drag and drop this record task here. Now, we'll see, first we'll declare a variable. So to do that, let's say I declare the variable as record. It can be anything of your choice. This variable is going to store all the values. So for each and every record, in which form? In the inventory form. What is the criteria that I am going to set? It's going to be the available quantity is going to be less than 5. So in the inventory form, we have the available quantity field. So let me choose that. And there is a lesser than symbol here. And I type 5. So basically what I've done is I've declared a variable called as record, and in which form I'm going to check for the inventory values is going to be the inventory form, and I've set the criteria to be if the inventory goes less than 5. And I click on done. Yes. So I want you all to complete till here, then we can proceed. So you want me to show it again? Yes. Okay, let's delete this again, and let's do it from the beginning. I get into data access. There is a for each record task here. I drag and drop the task. So this is the first step. We drag and drop the for each record task. So I declare the row variable as record. This can be any name. The form will be the inventory form. This is where we have all the inventory information. Next, I'm going to define the criteria. The criteria will be if the available quantity is lesser than 5, that is, I choose the lesser than symbol and I type in 5. So have you got it? Yes. I click on done. So we can actually read it as a sentence, like for each and every record in the inventory form where the available quantity is lesser than 5. What am I going to do? I'm going to drag and drop a send mail task. I'm going to send an email to the store manager. So again, this is the screen that we saw in the email notifications yesterday. We saw how to set email and SMS notifications. So this is the same screen. And again, Zoho.admin user ID that we see in the from address is a variable that is going to contain the admin user's email address. Now, I choose the to address to be, let's say, it's jamesilker@gmail.com. And the subject of the email can be threshold value reached. Now let's type the message. Hi, threshold value reached for the product. You have to specify which product has reached the threshold value. So to do that, I get into insert expression. So this is again going to list all the input fields that we have, and we have already declared a collection variable called record. So what I do is I get into the collections tab. We can see the collection variable. Now I choose the pizza. So this record.pizza that we see here is going to return the ID of the pizza. That is, for example, let's say it's a lookup field from different form. That is the types of pizza form. So what this record.pizza is going to give you is, it's going to give just the ID value of the pizza. So to get the exact pizza name, what I'm going to do is, I type in a dot again, and I say dot name. So record.pizza.name is, record.pizza is it's going to look up for the values from the types of pizza form and get the name of the pizza. So now I click on done. So that expression will be auto-populated here in the message.
How are we feeling about this, everyone? Are we feeling good? Does this make sense?
Yes.
I think this is one of the easier business use cases to see because we're automating an email, right? I mean, I'm not sure we'd ever write threshold value reached as a nice, friendly, automated reminder, but I mean, this is just the example, right?
Yeah, you got it? Is there someone who wants me to do it again? Yes, you want me to do it again? Okay. Yeah. So we'll go from here. So I have to specify which product has gone down in the inventory. So I click on insert expression. We have already declared a collection variable when we did that for each record task.
Does anybody else need any help with this at all?
So for each and every record that we have in the inventory form, what I'm going to do is I choose the collection variable. We can see the collection variable record that we have defined already. Custom schedule. Okay. So this is what it is. First, you drag and drop a for each record task and set the criteria. Then drag and drop a send email task within the for each loop. Yeah. So for each and every record, we're going to send an email task. So let's configure the email. Okay. Now let me drag and drop a send mail task. The from address will be the Zoho.admin user ID. So this container, this variable is going to contain the value of the admin user's email address. the to address will be, let's say, it's the stock manager's email address. Now, I choose to set a subject for the mail. Let's say it's threshold value reached. And the message will be threshold reached for the product. Now, to specify which product has gone down in the inventory, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this insert expression to specify that particular pizza. I get into collection variables. You can see a collection variable that we have defined already. That's the record. Now I go to the right hand side, and you can see here under numerical fields we can see pizza. So the record.pizza is going to return the ID of the pizza. Any pizza that you have, for each record you have an ID, right? So that is going to be returned here in that record.pizza. So if I give a record.pizza.name, then it's going to look up for the pizza name from the type of pizza form.
So I have a question. If we wanted to pull the description, would we be able to do record.pizza.description? Because we just had the
yes.
Right?
If you give ... if you keep on adding, so you're going to look up one form from the other, from the other, and look up information from some third or the fourth form. So by placing a dot between each of those field names, you're going to refer the field names by just placing a dot in between.
Right.
So has everybody got this expression here in the criteria tab? Yes. Now let's proceed. I click on done. It gets auto-populated in the message. Let's add the message as kindly refill the stock. Now I click on done. And before I save the script, we will not see any kind of buttons here. Now, when I save the script, we can see that the schedule is set. That is, the schedule is on, and this is going to be executed. I can click on this to disable the schedule, or whenever needed, I can just enable it. So let's all make sure that it's in the green. It's the green button that we see here. Yes. Okay. So we have the inventory form. We have the type of pizza form. And in the inventory form, you'll have the pizza name. So that particular field name will be just pizza. And that will be a lookup from the type of pizza form. The type of pizza form, you'll have the name field of the where you enter the name of the pizza. So if you specify a value like this, record.pizza.name, it's going to look up value from that type of pizza form and display it here.
That was actually a really good question. Does that make sense to everybody? Did we get that part? Okay.
So there's an option to execute the script and check if it works. So now, I hope most of you would have shared it with some email address in the to field. So you're going to receive an email when you execute that script, because we have already set a few inventory values of pizza to be lesser than 5. So you're going to get an email there. We can check it. So I want all of you to enter an email address that you can access. Now, let's execute the script. So it's executed. Let me open a new tab and log in as the store manager. Yes. We can see an email that we have received. Let me delete all the other emails. Yeah. So we can see that we have received an email here as threshold value reached. But we have received 4 different emails. Can someone tell me why we received 4 emails? Yeah, so when you go through each of those emails, it's going to show different pizza names. That is burger crust pizza, butter pizza. So each and every inventory value is low. So as stock manager seeing this email inbox, let's say he has hundreds of pizzas and there are 50 pizzas that are running out of stock. So he'll be receiving 50 emails. So is this a good practice to write code? Yeah. So what we can do is, so what would be the best practice to do it? What we can do is we can take off that send email task outside. That is, let me zoom it. Sorry, I'm not able to. Yeah. Okay. So it's not showing up properly. So let's see it this way. So the same thing, the same script that we are having here, but what we are going to do is we are going to push this send email task outside the loop. That is, we'll be having the send email task. What we'll do is we'll collect all the pieces that is running out of inventory and then compile it all together in a single email and send it to the stock manager. Okay. So shall we do this? Like, shall we try to configure a schedule where there is a single email that is going to the stock manager? Yes. So let's get back to the builder. So first what we'll do is, let's ensure all of us are in the screen. Now, drag and drop the send email task outside the loop. That will be the first thing. So the send email will be the last task that we'll be doing. First, let's do a set variable task initially. That is, the first step will be to do the set variable task. Let's say I declare a variable. I'll tell you why I'm declaring a variable in the later stages. Let's say I declare a variable name as pizza list. And I just give the double quotes. So if I specify just the double quotes, then this pizza list variable will not contain any value in it. So let's say whenever we declare a variable, we have a value stored in it, right? But if you don't have any value within those double quotes, it says there is no value in that variable. So this will be somewhere in the beginning of this script. So this will be the first task. Pizza list, we declare a variable and we don't assign a value to it. I want all of you to do this. You're done? The first step. Now, what we do is, now I drag and drop a for each record task. The same thing that we did earlier. That will be for each and every record in the inventory form where the available quantity is lesser than 5. Now, in the for each record, we'll add a set variable task inside. So again, I'm going to set a variable where I can add all the pizza information, different types of pizza that is running out of stock. I can pull all the information and store it in a single variable. So to do that, I declare the variable name as pizza list. Okay, it should be already there since I've declared it. Yeah, we can see that there is a pizza list variable. So this pizza list will be, now I'm going to set the value for it. That will be pizza list. Let me define it first, then I'll explain you how it is done. Plus I have this variable, double quotes, then I can add a value to it. Then I'll get into the collection variable, record dot pizza dot name. So I'll tell you what it is. This is very much similar to what Saran said in the morning. This thing. So you saw in the morning session where Saran introduced the basic concept, right? The first name, adding two values. Like you have, let's imagine the first name, in the place of first name, you have the first value, that is the first pizza name, and in the last name, you have the other pizza name. What you're going to do is, you're going to add two pizza name, and you're going to put it as a single value. That is, you're going to store it in this variable. So that's the same thing that we have done here. So initially, this pizza list that we declared, it didn't contain any value. So this will be kind of an empty space where you add a comma to it, plus again you add that pizza name. The new pizza name that you get in, that will be added. So I click on done. As you can see the expression, so for each and every record, this is going to iterate, and initially the pizza list value will be, it will not contain any value. So it will be empty space, comma, the pizza name, the first pizza name. Again, when the loop runs again, this value will be stored in this pizza list. So similarly, for each and every record that it's going to iterate, it's going to store all the pizza names that are running out of the stock in this pizza list. Now, I get to send mail. I choose the message as threshold value reached for, and I choose to set the expression as pizza list. That's it. I click on done. So this pizza list will contain all the values. Now, let me save the schedule. We have saved it, and I execute the script now. So it's executed. I'm pretty fast here because we are running out of time. Anyways. So now let me get into Gmail. We have seen, so we have got an email here. I access it. We have just got a single email with all the values here. So this will be pretty easy for the stock manager to access and see if we have got any threshold, if your value has gone down in any of your pieces. This one? Yes. So it's not that you should do it. You can just have a look at it, and if you have any doubts, you can ask us. So this is basically to avoid duplicating emails to someone who, it's like you receive 50 emails, you'll be annoyed to see all those. So do any of you have doubts in this? So we have just added one line of code into the for each record task. So we are avoiding all the duplicate emails. So similarly, if we have any time-based actions that we want to automate and you want to avoid user input, so what you can do is you can set up any of these schedules, be it a form, report, or a custom schedule based on the requirements.